Welcome in, another 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10. Hopefully your September is off and running. I want to talk about communication today, okay? So lately I've been having to do a lot of work with contractors and other people and scheduling and people in and out of my house, etc., etc. And what I'm finding is that most people are poor at communication. And it's really nothing crazy, right? I mean, it's simply about, first of all, it's if you're going to use a calendar to communicate with one another, you want to make sure that that calendar is A, accurate, B, everyone knows what's going on, and C, and most importantly, what's on the calendar actually fucking happens. That's like the most important thing to having a calendar. But the communication part is really what gets me, you see, because I expect now that if I call someone, it's kind of at the high level, right? If I call someone, probably not going to get a call back right away. If I text someone, I kind of expect like a reasonable, I don't know, couple hours. Seems long to me anyways, but everyone's already in their fucking phone. Don't know why they can't just reply. But so here we are, a couple hours for a text, maybe even a few more hours for an email, right? But it used to be phone calls would be the first to be replied to. Well, now I think it's text. Then I think it's email. Then I think it's phone call. And I think that's where things get extremely interesting because people just don't do it very well. One of the situations that came up was basically about timing of the house. We work from home. And so when people are in and out of our house, it's important that we know that. And there were multiple occasions when you would attempt to get a schedule because it wasn't being followed on said calendar. You would try to understand the timing of it because it wasn't being followed on said calendar. And you would take that communication and then you would sort of just have to throw it out the window because it didn't really matter. None of it really mattered. And so when you communicate with one another, like for instance, if I tell a project manager that the best way to get to access the room you're working on is through the back of my house, I'll leave the door unlocked, you can go in and do all the work you need. That should be conveyed and put on the calendar for everyone, whether it's electricians, flooring, whatever. I don't care. Drywall, doesn't matter. Whatever it is, everyone has access to the same place. When people show up, they should know. But routinely, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, I have on my front door asking me where to go, how to do the job. I mean, and it's weird because contractors always tell me, Sean, it's very odd that someone's home. Well, let me tell you guys something. If I wasn't home, this project would still be going on because we had to get a lot of things answered for being home and be able to help assist in things that were already done because communication is breaking down. Now, as I apply it to my own business, it's like the biggest thing we do. We started working with a new partner within our company. And this individual, one of the first things I told him was, hey, man, when we text, when we call, it sort of needs to be high on the priority list. You know what I'm saying? Because when I want to get something accomplished, I don't want it accomplished tomorrow or the day after. I want it done right fucking now. The moment I think about it is the moment, probably moment later, I want it done. And I realize that expectation may be unrealistic. But because I've been doing it for north of almost a decade, I don't believe it's that unrealistic. I believe it can be done if one applies oneself to do it. If people really understand the flow of communication, I believe we can get this done. So as you go through and you communicate, whether it's your team, your wife, your kids, just think about what it is that you're actually putting out there, how you're putting it out there, and how that will be perceived. And if you're going to try and stick to something, to get a project done, follow a calendar, whatever it is, make sure that every aspect is communicated. To me, when dealing with shit, I don't feel that I can be over communicated to. I really don't. If someone's going to be 7 minutes late, you can tell me, it's cool, I don't mind that. If someone's going to be 3 hours late, I should have known an hour ago, not when it happens in the third hour. So That's really what it comes down to me. And all the people I deal with, great people. They're great human beings. That's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is the inability to communicate seamlessly. So think about it the next time you send a text, next time you let an email sit in your inbox for a week you could have replied to the moment it came in. And just let's try to be better at communicating with one another. Go out, have yourselves a wonderful week, and we'll see you again next week.